up for a minute? We gotta get you the fuck out of Dodge, man. We're going to Vegas tonight.
What are you talking about, Vegas?
Vegas, baby, Vegas.
What if you could turn a simple $150 into enough money in 3 days to pay for your entire trip? Welcome back, everybody, subscribers, and to those new people that just happen to be stopping by, welcome to you guys as well. Well, we're going to explore this on the second trip. Basically, what I've done is I believe I've narrowed down my Eureka strategy to accomplish two things. Number one, reducing the risk of loss as far down as possible. And number two, making it something that everybody can play with no experience whatsoever with the bubble craps machine, and to try to achieve that goal. So that's what I'm going to try to do. We're going to see how it works out. For those people that probably already have a pretty good idea of what's going on, this might appear to be a grind to you guys, but let's not get distracted here, because I want to see if I can achieve that goal. That goal amount is basically based on the fact that the first session is going to be $50. Times 3 is going to be 150, because whenever I come up with a strategy, I want to figure out my bankroll of 3 times of the total base amount for each session. Therefore, we're going to be starting with 50. 50 times 3 is 150. Even I can do that math. Anyway, with that in mind, it's also one that's going to, again, be an introductory for those people that don't know anything about craps, want to keep it simple, and have no experience whatsoever on the bubble craps machine. Okay, so with that in mind, let's go ahead and get started. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to start off at the very base level, just for those people that have no experience of the bubble craps machine and they want to reduce their risk of any loss whatsoever in case they make a mistake. So this is a great place to start. For that reason, they might lose $15 or whatever it is for them to finally get used to it, because they might time out on the machine. And that's a frustration that I had when I first started using the bubble craps machine. Additionally, I was probably putting in a little bit too much money than I needed to. Anyway, having said that, once again, let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and first of all establish a point. All right. Starting off with just $1 so you guys can get used to how this machine works, and also in the habit of doing exactly the same thing every time. I wanted to come up with a strategy like I do with all my other strategies to turn this machine into an ATM machine, literally doing the same thing over and over and over with no deviations whatsoever, almost with no thought process. And with me, when I come up with a strategy, I want it to have absolutely I want it to become boring. I want it to become so boring that you can sit back and have your distractions without it distracting you within the casino and taking you away in your mind of what's actually going on. So you can, you could still people watch, or you could do whatever you want to do without too much distraction, without too much money at risk in the very beginning, because it might be a little bit daunting to you. And I understand the craps table in itself. This has kept people away, once again, from actually jumping on a craps table because of all of the distractions that are on the board and the way people are betting, and you're seeing all these bets and you're like, well, I can never play craps. Well, you can play craps now with this very simple strategy that it came up with. For now, in your thoughts and minds, anything you might think about craps right now, consider throwing it by the wayside. I won't get into the details on that, but it's going to help you to help understand, or easier understand, what I'm talking about. Anyway, I'm already 4 minutes into this, so having said that, I want you to go ahead and fire it up until it loses. Now, yes, correctly, if you're on a craps table or a regular craps table, you won't be able to play it this way, and that's why this is adapted, of course, for the bubble craps machine, because it allows you to make $1 bets up to $2,000 bets. So keep that in mind. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go ahead and run this out, run it out, run it out, run it out, until I get a 7 out. Okay, before I move on, I want to tell you about using this Wizard of Odds. I've noticed some strange anomalies that have been happening within this, and I think I narrowed it down. And I checked my computer, and of course, this isn't keeping cookies on my computer. But when I refresh the page, I notice that my leave winning chips up. That's up here, or yeah, you can see it, that little X at the very top. I notice it's still activated whenever I refresh the page. So the solution to that is to close out the page when it comes time for you to cash out your ticket. Okay, I'm going to have you get in the habit of cashing out those tickets early once you figure out your stop win amount, which is important in any gambling structure. So in this process, you're going to see me closing it out as if I've cashed out my ticket, and it refreshes the whole thing, and it'll open up and hopefully keep these anomalies I'm seeing from happening. Okay, so back on the program here, I'm going to, on this second level, very important, listen up, very important, I want you to go ahead and roll it for just one roll. If that point is established, then you continue on betting. If it's not established, I want you to run it out to the 7. And the reason why is this strategy was, once again, based on that information I told you from the pit boss, is I want to go ahead and minimize the expectations of that 7 coming in by all means possible. So basically what we're working here is we're going to do it for just one win. Now, yes, in a sense, this is a martingale system. I've tried to refine it down as most as possible. I generally don't like martingale systems at all. No, wipe out your bankroll. You get deep into that doing roulette on your, red and black, you're screwed because you've seen the patterns. What this is going to do, though, however, is you have 4 numbers that are competing with the combinations on the dice with the 7. Meaning there are, for example, more combinations with the 4 and the 6, 4 and the 2, just below. Let me rephrase that. So you have your 7, they have its combinations. Underneath that, you have your 6 and your 8. So I want to go ahead and maximize on the odds on that. And that's how we're going to be doing it here in the future, but not at this level. This is still a level for you to get used to the machine and build up that bankroll so we can move on to the next tier of betting with its different level of betting. But for now, we're just dealing with this. Okay, we lost on the previous one. My next step is I want to grab the $5 chip, because it's the only way that we're going to be able to do this to make it easy, because I like to use the next highest chip denomination, again, for speed and being able to get it on the board without it timing out. And the craps bubble machine generally is going to, stop at about 30 seconds is what I came out with. And I'm going to lay this out. What this is going to do is it's going to recover the amount of money you previously lost and give you a nice little profit on top of that for your time, for whatever's going to happen. And you could run into some long rolls to wait for the perfect opportunity, and I want to go ahead and minimize that as much as possible. Therefore, taking up your time, you might as well get paid for it. All right. So once again, the point was established after the 7. I'm going to hit it for just one roll, or one win. It's no longer one roll, it's one win at this level. I'm going to roll it to establish the point. I'm going to clear it out, and I'm going to revert back to my 1s when you're just starting out now. When you're just starting to learn the console, I want you to be in the money and comfortable with it without too much stress of having to time out as you're learning it. Again, I'm going to go ahead and run this out as much as I can, and hope to have those white rhinos have a stampede coming my way. Okay, now once again, we're going to do the second level. Again, we want to make sure the point is established. The first roll after the 7, again, to minimize the expectations of that happening, of the 7 coming in with its competing numbers working against it. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to slap up my $5. I'm going to hit it for one win, and there's a loss. It's good, because at least I can get into what we're dealing with here and explain what to do on the next level. Now that level lost. Instead of you chasing your money, okay, your bankroll that I'm going to suggest here in a little bit is going to cover this instant that's going to be explained here. So generally speaking, on the come out roll, once again, I want it to establish the point after the 7. See all these little series? So by doing this, you're avoiding the series of 7s that I've noticed are the patterns that 7s tend to reoccur itself over time. This is going to overcome that loss. I'm going to establish the point after the 7. I'm going to again lay my 5s down. I'm going to hit it for one win, one win. I'm going to clear it out, and I'm going to revert back to my 1s as a recovery. And I'm going to hope for a stampede. Doesn't happen in that point? Okay. It's alright. I'm going to go ahead and do it. Okay, generally in this situation, I want you to go ahead and close out your ticket. Forget about it. Alright, I want you to just close out your ticket and walk away with a $7 loss. Because right now, the table's fluctuating perhaps a little bit too much. But in this situation, I want to try to go ahead and work through that. So because of that, I'm going to go ahead and once again start off at that level. Now, considering this, you would have cashed out your ticket or waited until that pattern has stopped. Let's talk about these patterns for a minute. We have patterns all throughout our life. We have our ups and downs in our life. The stock market has its ups and downs. The games within a casino have its fluctuations. For example, you could be sitting at the 21 table, the dealer's going to be winning, and then we've got the players going to be winning, and it's going to fluctuate back and forth and have this, dealer win, player win, and then of course there's a long string of the dealer and the players winning. Okay, that's going to be happening. The same thing happens on a craps table with your 7s. And that's what I try to develop through this, is a strategy that's going to overcome those 7s as much as possible. I'm aiming for 94% on this. I'd be happy to get 84% success rate. That to me is cool because it's beating the house edge, and that's the whole advantage, is to beat that house edge. Okay? Excuse me. So with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and lay the 5s out once again. Now in this situation, you would technically be dipping into your second session bankroll. So this is kind of realistic in a sense, because if you're sitting down once again with that $150, all right, or you have that $150 bankroll, it's allowing you to take a little bit of a chunk out of your second bankroll, but not too much. Again, this is the lower tier that I want you to work with to get used to it. And then we're going to progress from there. Okay? So I'm going to hit it for just one win. All right? I'm going to clear it out. All right? So that puts me, a buck under where I was before. And now you're really close to getting back into your bankroll. And as we progress in our betting structures, it's going to reflect the same thing, but of course, producing more money along the way. All right? So I'm just going to do one more, and then I'm going to move on to the next level, because that was just an explanation for you on how to properly work the machine in a slow way without too much risk. I'm just going to run it out to the end, or until a 7 comes. Come on, white rhinos. Let's do this. Bring on a stampede. Yeah. 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 Okay, I got excited over $1 win. That's pretty fun. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and recover just that one more time. All right. Again, I'm going to wait until the point is established directly after the 7. There's another 7. Point is established. I'm going to lay my 5s up on there. And I'm going to hit it for one win. Clear it down. Now we're at 14 bucks. Now I know you might be thinking, gee, I only made 14 bucks. It's okay, because technically you took an hour of your first day on your trip to go ahead and learn how this machine works and learn how to go through the struggles of learning a new application, if you will. Anything you learn, you have to do it more and more in order for it to get used to it. And this is what this is basically established. So this is what I'm going to be going through on this little trip of mine. As I want to figure out if I could turn $150 into enough money within a 3-day period to at least pay for my trip. If I could do that, anybody can go to Las Vegas, pay for their trip, and at this level that we're working at right now and will in our next hour video, you're going to be able to achieve that. And that's the goal, and that's what I'm going to try here on this trip. So anyway, having said that, I want to end this with a little Thai phrase, Chok Di Kap, which means best of luck to you, and have a great day and a better tomorrow. You guys take it easy. See you next time on hour number 2 of this journey.